guys, so today I'm finally going to talk about my top 15 books of 2023. This is a video I've been filming every year since I started my channel in 2015, and obviously you can see that I did my top 15 books of 2015 and I cut it there because I was not going to keep going higher in number because that was going to make it too hard. So I've stuck to the 15 every year, and in the first years this was really good. This is very easy because I would read 100 books and picking 15 out of 100 was really actually hard. But as the years have gone down and my reading has gone down, I'm sitting here picking 15 books out of 42. So at this point, I could honestly do a top 5 favourite books of a year video, but I am adamant on sticking with this because this is the 9th year I've talked about my top 15 books. And even though some of these are a bit mid and really wouldn't have made the top 15 list if I had read other books, but I'm going to keep going with the formula. But the best thing about my videos is I actually rank the order of the books. So the top 5 in this video are immaculate books. They are my top favourites of the year, but the other 10 are I enjoyed them. They were the top books out of the 42, but they're kind of just chilling. That's what they are. I still rated them, but they're the chiller books. So let's get into this list. I know this video is going to go on because it's a lot to talk about, but I'm excited. So yes, number 15 on my list is King of Wrath by Anna Huang. So I wasn't expecting to have one of her books on my list, but to be fair, I actually really enjoyed this one. I read Twisted Love, wasn't a big fan, was a bit worried about going into this one, but I just really enjoyed Dante as a character, and Vivian was a really strong and powerful woman, and they made a really good couple, and I liked the arranged marriage aspects of this book, and I'm excited to read more of this series. I know I have to finish the Twisted series, but I just really enjoyed this, and it was a really fun story to read when I don't really read books like this, so I enjoyed it. Number 14 on my list is 9 Liars by Maureen Johnson. I read this all the way back at the start of the year, and I loved the Truly Devious series so much with my heart. I'm so scared because there was stuff about the 6th book on Goodreads that has now disappeared, so I'm concerned that we are not going to get a conclusion to the series because it did end on a big moment that I need resolved. And if they don't give me another book, I'm going to be really mad about it. But I loved this one. I always love the mysteries in these novels because it has the dual timeline and you get to see what's happening in real time with the people that are actually a part of the murder, but also see what's happening in the present with Stevie trying to figure it out. I got it wrong with this murderer. I had a guess, but it just wasn't who I thought it was going to be, but I still really like the way that the story weaved in. It's just such a good murder mystery series, and I highly recommend it. Number 13 on my list is Mad About You by Mahari McFarlane. I absolutely love this audiobook. I thought it was a great story. It's a really great one for female friendships and talking about abusive exes and how toxic men can be sometimes, and it's just a really fun book, kind of full of a good amount of coincidences as well. And the love story, I did really enjoy it, and me being a romantic reader, I would have loved more of the romance because it took a very back seat. It was basically in the boot of the car, not even the back seat, but I really loved this book and I would highly recommend it, and pretty much read any of her books because she writes so well. Number 12, I want to talk about Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings on this book, but I ultimately ended up really enjoying it. Yes, the pretending to be the secret admirer plot point and having him feel like he's cheating on her when he really likes Hallie and all this stuff was annoying. But thankfully it wasn't the biggest plot point, which is good because if it lasted for any longer it would have bothered me more, because I hate this secret identity when they know who the person is and then they really mess with their feelings. Shit, it bothers me, but not as much in this book. But I really liked Hallie as a character. She was really fun and bubbly and just a great person to follow, and I really liked Julian. I related to him with his anxiety and a lot of the ways that he was thinking about things, and having the list of my life, so I really related to him as well. But they made a cute couple and this was just fun. I just enjoyed it so much, and we're in wine country. It's just all the vibes are good. Number 11 goes to Witch Please by Anna Aguirre. I loved this so much. Oh my god, I read this for Rhea. She never came because she had to pull out last minute, but I found a great book. It's really cozy, honestly. It's about the main character's a witch, but they have to hide that they're witches from the humans, and they just live in this cute little town. And then she meets this man Titus, who has been unlucky in love. He feels like he's cursed, and basically the issue is Danica's made a pact with her cousin that they're not going to fall in love because men suck. So when she meets this little bean Titus, it's just shit. but it's cute. There's a lot more going on, like there's different things that are happening, like they do have witch hunters in this world and things that are happening, like things that are going on, and also her grandmother's a bit of an asshole, so there's like a lot. But it's just cute and fun, and if you want a quick and easy read, this is the one, and the whole trilogy is honestly really good. Number 10, I want to talk about Savage Bonds by J. Bree, because I cannot talk about Broken Bonds because I actually didn't like it, because there is so much bullying and they treat her literally like shit the whole book, and Ollie is so resilient against these fucking men that it's just, it bothers me that I couldn't give that a spot on my list. But Savage Bonds, and any of the books really, get a spot on my list because this is when it starts getting good, because the guys realize they are idiots and they start to fall in love with her even more, and it's just, the vibes are so good. Definitely at this point Griffin was my favourite male, but by the end of the series I actually jumped ship to Gabe. He's just a sweetheart and I love him so much, and he's just the sweetest boy. Like, he cares about Ollie and people in general so much, and I love him. But I really do like this series. It was my first Why Choose story that I've ever read, and I just devoured this series. It's just such a good one. Okay, number 9, I want to talk about Lore Olympus Volume 5. I also read Volume 4 this year, but one thing that's really getting me is the slow burn. Like, it is so slow, yet in actual time there's only been 2 weeks of time in this series. There's been 5 volumes that take place over 2 weeks, and it's made me feel like months have gone past. But the reason I'm talking about this book is we're starting to find out information that is very intriguing. So I'm very excited for volume 6 because I need to know more. But also, things. Can't tell you, but things. I am a romantic person, and the things I want aren't happening yet, but still, things. That's all I can say because this is the 5th volume. I can't really tell you more, but I love this series so much. I'm so glad that I decided to pick this up. I will probably most likely buy volume 6, hopefully online if it's not too expensive, or will I wait until I go to the UK again, because that seems like the thing where I buy these books. Number 8 on my list is The Vanishing Deep by Astrid Schulte, and I loved this. I hate that I put books off for a long time, finally read them and realize they're actually a great book. Four Dead Queens was an amazing book. I loved it so much and I just enjoyed the whole entire experience. It was such a good story. And then I bought this one because I knew that I liked the author, but I just never got around to it. So obviously read it for rare, got to meet her in person, but I love the way that she weaves these, like, not necessarily like plot twists, but like the plot points that she weaves are done so well, and you just really feel for these characters because obviously in this book the main character's sister died and they have this thing where they can bring them back to life for 24 hours. So once she brings her back, Tempe discovers that there's a lot of stuff that his sister knows about that she didn't know, and then all this stuff happens and eventually they have to break out of the facility and it just all goes to shit, really. But I thought it was so cool. It takes place on basically like everyone's living on the water because it got flooded. Like, there are so many interesting things about it and I just enjoyed it so much. Like, I honestly would love to have a sequel. I need to know more about this world, even if it's about different characters. This was just like a fast-paced fun story that I highly recommend. Number 7, I want to talk about The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and it's so funny because the longest time I just didn't buy this book because I didn't like the cover, but I never actually had a good look at the cover, but I thought it was just going to be one of those like darker romance novels that I don't really reach for. It's set in freaking Disneyland, like the version of Disneyland that they've made, but it's basically Disneyland. But I thought it was really fun because Zara works at the parks and she does like a lot of stuff there and she's just like a really happy and fun bubbly person, and Rowan is like the CEO of the park or something. Like, he runs the park with his brothers, and basically he's just grown up to be a really grumpy person because he can never trust people, and he's just that one of those. And it's ultimate grumpy sunshine character dynamic that I really enjoyed, but it's like, I love Disney, so this was really fun, and I just thought the romance was really cute because he gets attached to her so quickly, but he's such an arsehole. So it's all good. I enjoyed it so much, and I do highly recommend this one. I really want to read books 2 and 3, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but I hope that they're just as good. Okay, number 6, Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. Of course, Heartstopper is going to get a spot on my list because it is one of the best books ever. I do like that this volume is finally starting to look up a bit more in their lives, and I know where they get to in the novella Nick and Charlie, but it's nice to just start seeing some of these things happen and they start to get a bit deeper in their relationship, which is really fun to see. And also, it's just, Charlie does seem to be on the other side of his healing journey, which just makes me so happy. But I'm so sad that this means that we only have one more volume. Like, it's gonna end either this year or next year. I don't know how long it's gonna take Alice to write it, especially if they have to do the next TV show and they have to write more scripts. Like, there's a lot to do, but I am glad that I had this to tide me over for a while, and then hopefully season 3 comes out this year, and just all the things, but this was great. Okay, so we're at the point at top 5 where these books really impacted me and I loved them so much, and I need everyone to read them right now. Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. I actually think I liked this more than the first one, and that's crazy, but the main factor is that Pip and Ravi are so dear to me, and they don't date in the first book, but they're a couple in the second book, so them being a unit means so much to me that I really appreciated them being like there for each other in that way, more than in the first one where it was just about the case. But Ravi was such a sad bean because his brother's dead, and there's a lot to deal with in the situation there. He's doing a lot better in the second book, so I also appreciated that. But this case was also really interesting because it's taking place in real time, because someone they know gets taken and they don't have a lot of time to sort it out. So the stakes were higher, and I just loved it. This is such a well-written series, and I don't know why it took me so long to read it, and I cannot wait for the TV show to come out because I think it's going to be everything. Number 4 is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Posden. Of course, Lemon Man was coming, okay? He was going to be on this list, as he should, because he is a great character, but I loved this so much. Ashley Posden's romance novels that she's been writing have been hitting so hard. I love them, and this is about a time-traveling apartment which can only take you 7 years in the past or 7 years in the future, and she meets a man who she then meets in the current time who is completely different to the man that he was, and she's trying to figure out what happened. So I just think it's great. I highly recommend you to read this. I loved it. I read this on sprints, and I hope everyone who saw my reactions to certain things wants to pick it up. But it's heartfelt. It's a deep story, and it's just beautiful, and I do not have any other descriptors because I feel the same about everything, but like, it's so good. Then number 3, The High Mountain Court by A.K. Mulford. Oh my god, I love Remy and Hale so much, especially Hale. Like, I haven't had a good fantasy male in my life for a while, but he's just he's a man, and I love him, and he's like pretending to be like the party prince when he's actually really smart. And Remy is a witch, and she's meant to like not exist because they killed out this type of witch years ago, but now she's trying to find this artifact thing. And there is 5 books in this series, with the 5th one coming out at some point soon, but I need to read the rest of the series, and they're all companion novels. But it's so good, and I got to meet A.K. Mulford and yell at her about how much I love Hale. It was a great moment, and I thought this was actually going to be my top book, but I read 2 more that just sparked me a little bit more, but I just loved this, and I need people to read it so they can talk to me about it. And then number 2, I have to talk about Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, because every book of hers hits so fucking hard every year. I love her, and I feel so blessed that we're getting 2 books next year, and one of them is a paranormal romance between a vampire and a werewolf. Like, give it to me now. And my friend got the special edition from Afterlight for me, so I'm very thankful, and I cannot wait for it to come. But this book means so much to me. Like, Love on the Brain definitely is my least favorite, but I still enjoy that story. But what's interesting is this one was actually written back to back with Love Hypothesis, but Leigh didn't want this book next. They wanted a different book, so that's why I feel like Love on the Brain was a bit more rushed in a different tone, because it had to be written so quickly. So once this one finally was able to come out, the Love Hypothesis and Love Theoretically feel like sister novels in my opinion, while Love on the Brain is like a cousin, you know, like it's a little bit different. But Jack is the moment. Oh my god. And because While You Were Sleeping is one of my absolute favorite movies, I watch it a lot. Like, Bill Pullman is the absolute female glaze, and I love him. So having this whole idea that he's in love with her, but she's dating his brother, but it's a fake relationship that he doesn't know that, it is so good. I actually plan on buying the paperback just so I can annotate it and do a reread, because I'm not touching my beautiful, beautiful copy that my friend also got for me, because I'm obsessed with Ali Hazelwood's books, like actively obsessed. I just feel seen in these characters because they don't feel attraction to a lot of people until they find the one, and I want that. I just haven't found the one because Aussies are bogans. It makes me so happy, and I love this book so much. And this will come as no shock to any person. Oh my god, A Soul to Keep by Oprah Raines actively killed me. And what makes me so sad is that I hadn't read this book at the time that I met Oprah Raine, so I can't even tell her how much this book means to me. So I have to wait until, because she's got to be at either Babe or Rare in 2025, and I have all the books now and I have all the things. I will literally buy everything in her back catalogue at that freaking event so I can meet her and buy her books and talk to her and tell her how much I love her books, because it's so good. Like, this is such a cute, wholesome monster romance, and like, yes, there's gore and blood and that's a monster, but like, it's wholesome. Orpheus is like one of the best characters I've ever read about, and Rhea is okay, I do like her, but Orpheus, like, I think the himbo energy these monsters give is going to make me like the monster more every time, and I'm so sad that the rest of the series just isn't going to hit the same way, because how can you top perfection? Like, how can you? I just love it. It's wholesome. He loves her so much and he just wants to protect her, and he just wants to look after her. I can't. I actually can't. It is the best ever, and I just don't have much to say, but just read it. This is the book that I actively need everyone to read. Like, I was so excited when Grace had it in her video that she'd read it, and I was like, finally, someone gets it. And I need everyone, like, please, for the love of God, read this book because it's so good. Honestly, was gonna lift up the books, but they just kind of spewed everywhere because they just would not sit in a pile. But that is my top 15 books of 2023, and as you can tell, like, I enjoyed all the books that I have on this list, but some of them are 4 stars. Like, there's differences of things there, but I still really enjoyed my reading year, and I'm very excited to see what's going to be like the 2024 reads of what's going to be a favourite. I've only read 2 books so far this year though, so I definitely am intrigued, and I'm highly suspecting that House of Flame and Shadows is 100% going to be my top book of 2024, because every time a Crescent City book has come out, it's made the top. So I'm going to be shocked if anything can like go over that. But anyway, thanks for watching this video guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!